The bitter winter wind howled through the deserted streets as the team of rescuers trudged through the snow in search of abandoned dogs. They had been tipped off about a particularly dire case. An older dog, possibly around 9 or 10 years old, who had been found lying in the snow hole, unable to move. As they approached the location, they could see a small matted ball of fur in the distance. It didn't move, didn't respond to the calls or whistles. They knew that this was going to be bad. The dog was barely conscious when they reached her. Her body was stiff and cold. They immediately bundled her up in blankets and rushed her back to the rescue center, where they began to assess her condition. The dog had a host of issues. A fresh fracture of the pelvis, several old fractures that had never healed, and her lower body was completely frozen. The vets worked tirelessly to stabilize her, but it was clear that her prognosis was bleak. The bullets were still lodged in her body, and the damage was so severe that she was unlikely to ever walk again. As the team tried to make her comfortable, they couldn't help but feel a sense of overwhelming anger and frustration. How could anyone do this to an innocent animal? How could they let a dog suffer like this, alone and in pain with no hope of rescue? The team knew they had to do everything in their power to help this dog. But the situation was dire. As they worked through the night, they couldn't help but think about the countless other dogs out there, living on the street, subjected to violence and abuse every single day. How did these animals survive? How did they find the strength to keep going, despite the constant barrage of pain and suffering? The anger burnt deep within the team, fueling their determination to make a difference. They knew that they couldn't save every dog, but they would do whatever it takes to help those that they could. As the days passed, the dog began to show signs of improvement. The dog was unable to walk, but he started to eat and drink, and the spark of life returned to her eyes. The team worked tirelessly to help him, staying up late into the night to monitor his condition and provide him with the care he needed. Despite the progress, the anger and frustration never truly dissipated. Every time they looked at the dog, they were reminded of the cruelty and neglect that he had endured. They were reminded of the countless other animals out there suffering in silence with no one to help them. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but the team knew that they couldn't do this alone. They needed the help of the community, the support of people who cared about the welfare of animals. They needed to raise awareness, to shine a light on the horrors that were happening every day right under our noses. And so, they worked tirelessly, sharing the story of a dog and using her plight to raise awareness of the suffering that the animals endure every day. They made videos and wrote articles, sharing them far and wide, hoping to reach as many people as possible. And slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. People started to take notice, to speak out against animal abuse and neglect. They began to support local rescue organizations, to volunteer their time and resources to help the animals in need. The dog became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a chance of redemption. Do like, share, and subscribe if you like this video.